Audio stream bitrate of 120 kilobits. Okay, what is my audio? 128 kilobits per second. Oh, is that what I want? Okay, I give 1 bit per kilobit per second output. Stream health, latency unless thingies. Okay, it's me, Mario. Let's see. Yes, it works. Chat is disabled. I don't like that. Edit, customization. Oh, here, live chat. Oh, right, that's right. I click save. What happens? Yeah. Sure. There we go. Alright. Let's get started. Before I do that, I'm gonna turn this down. Perfect. Alright. So, connection accept. Actually, I'll just explain how this starts first. So, first, yeah, let's go website. So first you start at your website. Nothing too special right now. All that happens is I set some table stuff. I load in commands.js, which I have removed, and it's actually website.tsx. I can probably rename this to a .ts folder or file. Alright. Now, so what happens is I establish a WebSocket connection to the local host. I can change this afterwards. Then I have a function called getID. It just gets a random number for an ID, and what this does is it will put it into here. So my ID for my connection details is this ID. Then yeah, I define some other type variables as well. And then my sending function. So this basically allows me to send information through the arguments. And this would allow me to, yeah, basically. So this tells me what arguments there are, so that would appear in the console side. Then what I would also have is I set our message format. Yeah. Hold on a second. Message format. When I get a message, I expect it to be message format. And my message format here is different. Yeah. So, since these are in the same directory, what I can just do is I can do import, and why don't I just import everything? So we'll do details. We can import details and message format. Yeah, and then we can import these from helper. And what's wrong? Conflicts with local. Oh yeah, that's right. We can get rid of our local declarations. Details. Okay. Alright, message format. Details. Do I not have anything for details? No, I do not. Alright, so then let's make a details. Actually, let's just see. What's inside of details? It has an ID, a computer name, and connection request. ID in use. Yeah, so I do not have it. So I can leave details here, and I can delete details here. Now, if I wanted to, I could have function, sending function just be imported, which would probably be smart. Because let's split the screen. Oh, this just has extra thing here. Let's just add another thing. Const connection details. This can be equal to our arguments, and then we can get our second argument. There we go. So now this, the last thing we're going to do is connection details dot ID, and that should solve all my problems. Connection details. Let's just copy, paste. Yeah, I thought I typed it wrong. There we go. So this will work nicely. Now we can delete this function. Now that shouldn't affect anything in server. Nope. And now I can go over to website and do stuff here. So in website, what I can do is everywhere we have a send. So send this guy, connection details. We can come over here and we can just put in connection details. Go away. Alright. So after we put in the connection details, this should be all right. Because all my sends have those. And then my data down here, this is just once I get a message, I can output what it is. Refresh computers is declared but value is never used. Select is declared but value is never used. Yes, they are. Forward back, actually, refresh computers is used. Yeah, refresh computers is used. All of those guys are used. Now select, that is used in here. Yeah, select, and then the computer. So this will select the computer ID. So now that is going to be a con accept. So if we come into here, our con accept is right here. So our connection is get connection. Now get connection quite literally does what it says. It gets the connection for the destination here by going through each and every one of our computer connections and website connections, and if it finds it, it returns it. If it doesn't, then it will return false. And what we can do is to prevent it from trying to send false, we can set con, like if con is not equal to false, then we can send out our items. So now what I have to do is I have to do send, and now you send anything, so message parse, and that should be everything, because so con accept what my send function, come over to here, go to our send, so the source is our source, the type is our type, the message is message, function is function, and destination is destination. So what this is basically doing is it's forwarding the message, but I just check to see if a variable is empty or non-existent. If it's non-existent, what I'll do is I will replace it with the proper value, and then all is right with everything. Whereas if I don't, then it makes it look, or at least when it gets received, it doesn't look as good. I'm just gonna format these here, and then I can tell what happens in between each. And then down here I just use my switch case. I could use an if statement, probably be easier to use an if statement. But I'm just doing the same thing here. So do I need, okay, do I set WS each time? So .ws is equal to con as socket, send con as socket, send con as socket. Ooh. Surprised that's not giving an error. Con as socket, con as socket. Okay, so I can get rid of WS set. WS set doesn't need to be set because I set the WS each and every single time. So now I can, oh, wrong thing. I can come into here. There we go. Alright, I can come into here and I can get rid of this switch statement, get rid of that, and get rid of all that. There. Now, less code, more functionality, quicker time. Yeah. So con accept, I'm basically forwarding it, so I'm basically acting as a switch or router if you know networking, and I'm sending it through here. So now what I do have to do is on a con request, which is when a website sends a connection request to a computer or turtle, what's going to happen is I'm going to get the connection. If the connection is false, which this should never happen, but if it does happen, then I'm just going to say, hey, con request was sent, but there was not a valid destination, and the website's just going to sit there trying to connect to it. User is eventually going to press refresh. Once that happens, it'll update the in-use. The in-use is set here, or sorry, no, the in-use set here. So what happens is in this function, I'm going to have to update the connection info, which I keep forgetting out of this folder. The connection info would be here. Basically, I have to update the in-use and the connected to. I could technically update the connected to a connection info if it lets me do it. It does. So then I can set it to a connection info, and that's all nice. Oh. Okay, never mind. I'm going to set this to connected info or any. So I'll just set it to a string and everything will still work. Probably not the best idea to set it to an any, so I'm going to just say I'm going to set it to a string specifically. If I come back over to a server, username, come down into here, con accept, if send, send a message. Yeah, I don't really want to use this, so I'm kind of ignoring it for now until I get all the cases set up. I'm just going to try something. What happens to the stream if I do this? Okay, let's see. How does it look in OBS? It doesn't look that good. No, it doesn't look that good. Okay, let's see. Fit to screen. No. Okay, that's... Okay, never mind. Let's not do that. Let's just keep it sideways. Yes. Center. Perfect. Okay. Alright, so send message. Now we can go over to the startup file I have. So this is Lua code. This is very simple Lua code. I'm loading the JSON file, which you can get from a pastebin command. Then I'm setting my computer name equal to the OS computer ID. Now, the get OS computer ID, for this example, my one computer that I have in a world would be 1, or no, 0. And then it would slowly rank its way up. So because I have it set like this, it's always going to be different, so we don't have to worry about that. But I did implement, just in case, a check for duplicate IDs, which should not happen. Yeah, and then I get the local connection, basically just a dictionary. If you're from Python, it basically sets up a dictionary or an enumerator for TS. And I have, of course, a sending function. It basically prints out what it's sending. That way it's easier to read, and then I can just, yeah. Then if the connection is established successfully, I'm going to return true. That way I can basically say, hey, yes, I've received everything you sent me. I've sent it off successfully. Here you go. Then I have the reconnect, which basically does, yeah, what it is. So if my tries are less than 0, sorry, greater than 0, then it's going to sleep for that amount of seconds. And then if the tries are greater than 5, then it's going to send out an error saying the max reconnection attempts have been exceeded, and then it's going to give me the error. Otherwise, it's going to do a pcall connection true, connect true, which comes down to my connection, and I'm forcing a connection. So if I'm not connected, or force connection, so that's true, and this is false, but we only need 1 for an OR statement. Then we're going to do if connection.socket. Then we're going to do closing it, which makes sense. We want to close our possible connection before uploading it back again. Then we want to do our local WS error, so we're going to try and connect to it again. If it errors, then we're going to send out an error. Server is unavailable, which is why we have here. Then we're going to add 1 to tries, and then we're going to try sending again. Now, when I send message, I'm sending this guy, because there's nothing in here that makes me want to do anything else with it, or needs me to do anything else with it. But if there is a connection, we're going to return the connection.socket, or we're going to set connection.socket to WS, which basically means that this is going to return true. Now what's going to happen here is it's going to try and send it, and that would return true as well because, well, we are able to send it. And our receive basically is a shorter way of doing this. Basically JSON, if I have a connection, then I'm going to take our message from the socket, and then I'm going to get the object, which is just decoding the JSON object, which would be a message object, so message format, so it have a source, a type, an info function destination, I don't need wset, and a socket, or WebSocket. So from here, I just return the object. So what happens first, or I guess it looks me main. What main does is, while true, it's going to get that object. It's going to load the string of the function. Then it's going to run the function. And then it's going to send a return type. The message is going to be our result, and the destination is going to be connection.connected to. Now connected.connected2 is equal to receive.info. And this is after I send the computer name. So if I come into here, after I send the computer name, I don't send anything back. So I need to change that. So if we come over here, actually, no. So it sends out connection.connected2, but if connection.connected2 is not there, then connection.connected2 is just 0, which I'm okay with that. Now the question is if receive connection to socket dot receive. Now I just have to figure out, just a quick Google search, WebSocket Lua receive. I'm actually going to say computer craft, because computer craft is different, and I'm going to say it's tweet, because that is what I'm using. HTTP://cc tweet. Perfect. Request. Asynchronously make an HTTP request to the given URL. Okay. That's not what I'm doing. WebSocket. Yeah. Returns a WebSocket object. WebSocket.receive. Wait for a message from the server. So, I can actually do this. Or, I could technically get rid of it, and that would be okay too. And if I get rid of it, what happens is I don't have a destination, or our destination is 0. So whenever we return, but the first thing that is going to happen, or the first thing that should happen after we have a connection established, is we should have a connection request being sent. So let's reformat this. So we'll get rid of this. We'll set this to this guy. We'll say or, I don't know, no? Yeah, that works. Or no. Now, when I do my send, destination equals dest, or args destination, or this guy. Perfect. So I can just say or, yeah, actually no, or nil. Nil just makes it seem easier, because if this isn't set, it's going to go to nil, which means if I come up here, I can also set this to nil, and everything's great with world. So next thing to do is I need to deal with my receive. So I need to tell if I'm connected to something. So I'm going to add a thing called in use, and this can be set to false. And now, while true, do object.receive function. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is before I load the function, I'm going to go if object, I hate that my J key doesn't work all the time. I'm going to say object dot, what should I say? Object.type, there we go. If object.type is equal to con request Sorry, we're going to say not equal to. It is not equal to, oh, that's right. Not equal to a con request. Then we want to do this. I've done that. Don't need that anymore. Now we're going to go else if object dot type is equal to, oh wait a minute, hold on. We're going to say if it's equal to a command, because that's what that is. Now if object type is equal to con request, what we're going to say here is we're going to basically say, so for con request, we're going to do, we're actually going to take a look at the server. Con request, what is con request sending? So message parse. Okay, let's go website, con request. Con request. Message is going to be connection details.id. Now, connection details.id. Now, if we go and find connection details ID is our personal ID. So we're getting our ID. So sender ID is equal to object dot message. If I read that correctly, object.message is the message, yes. And connection details, we don't really care about that. Wrong one. Connection details, destination is going to be ID. Now, ID from select. Select is being pressed when we press a button, which does a computer. So destination is us. So now what we want to do is we want to come over here. Now local sent. No, we're gonna make this a optional to all of our F statements. We're gonna say local. We're gonna say sent by, and this is gonna be object dot source, because no one is able to change the source as far as I know. Source is a random number, but you can change the ID and the destination. You can change this, I think. No, you can't, but well, I'm gonna add a check anyways. Redundancy, I guess. Now, if sender ID does not equal sent by, I'm going to phrase it the other way. If sent by does not equal sender ID, or we're going to say if they do, because that'll make it easier to understand. So if they are, we want to do this. And what this is going to be is we're going to do if connection, okay, if connection dot in use is there not? I think there's a not in this. If not connection in use, then send type is going to be our type is going to be our type is going to be a con accept. Our message, what does our message need to be for the website to understood? Does it need anything? No. We're literally just sending it without a message, so we're going to say con accept, and we're just going to say the destination is equal to our sender our sender ID, and this will send straight back to that user. Yes, so con accept, send back to the user, and now let's see. I wonder, does this work? Okay, I'm going to assume that has not in my IDE. It's just not formatting it. Oh yeah, this is also not in the folder. It is in my computer folder thing here. Basically, this is index 0 in my Minecraft Save a Computer Craft website. I wonder, am I able to hide this? No. Okay. Yeah, gonna do all this, and yeah, so if it is a con request, we're gonna send a connection accept. Now we have to find out what else is gonna be sent to the computer. So to the selected computer turtle. Now this doesn't send anything to the computers. Command this sends stuff to the computers though. This didn't I? Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to do the same thing that I have down there, even though it might not be the same thing. Oh, wait a minute. Why is that not? Oh, that's right. Con can be set through all of this. Now what if I say... Okay, where am I? There we go. What if I say instead of let's say variable con, perfect. That's the local scope. At least I think so. Hope so. I'm new to TS. So get connection. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get our message parsed. So this is basically the JavaScripted message, and we're going to say message.parse. We're going to say our source. Actually, we don't want to do that. Command, so if I send a command, we want to send it to the destination. So we want to set message parse dest. Then we want to send in computer IDs and website IDs. And now we just have to say connection is not equal to false. That's right, con as socket. Socket is my own class because I can't set properties inside a WebSocket. I needed to add one. It was just ID. For that, I can get the ID off of the WebSocket. So that's all I did. And .on doesn't really, like, the only function I really use from it is on. So yeah. Set connection is on message part. Alright, so now we want to say if we can't find that, what we want to do is we want to send a, I'm going to do this for later because I'm just focusing, let's say there's no errors and it's perfect in the world. That's what I'm focusing on. So else we want to send out, send an error response to the website. The website saying that the computer is not connected, responding. Anymore. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. So that's exactly how I want that to go. This, yeah. This thing, I'm gonna do the same thing. Variable connection equals, we want to use the destination, so I'll just copy and paste. And then we'll get rid of this line. We'll get rid of this line. We'll bring this back. We'll say this is a connection as a socket because we're going to be doing a check here for our connection. I'm going to say if it doesn't equal, false again. So, perfect. Now we just do else. No, I'm just going to copy it. Perfect. That is all done. Alright, so if we get con request, we're going to send a con accept via here. But let's say we are already in use. We're going to send out a connection denied. Yeah, I think that's... Yes, that is how you spell denied. Okay. Connection denied, and we're going to say the destination is our sender ID. So, perfect. If we go over to here and we say case return, case, con accept, we can come over here and we can say computer or a turtle sends a connection denied message to the website. This is just how I like to format my comments, just because it makes it look nice, at least personally to me. And then, yeah, I can add descriptions, and then I can add notes. So where's one? Right here, I can add a separate note block, and it looks nice enough. So when the computer or the turtle sends a, actually I should be able to fit connection there. Connection, ew, I don't like that. Sends a connection denied message to a website message. When the computer sends a connection denied message to a website, then what we want to do is preferably we would like to then what we want, we'll send an updated list for an updated list of computers and what is in use to a website, to the website. When the computer turtle sends a connection denied message to a website, then send an updated list of computers and what is in use to the website. Perfect. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend this guy out to here. This is not going to be nice. Yeah. Perfecto. And oh, what? Oh yeah, that's right. I got rid of the then. And I'm gonna have one space. And now what I can do. Perfect. That lines up nicely. And now this is fine because there's a ton of space there. Your eye can't differentiate the one. Now we can do a case con and denied. And we're gonna to send out the same stuff. Gosh. Con accept. This is a computer stuff, so computer's request, this shouldn't, not there. Send an error response website, send an error response to the computer. That's what we want to do. Alright, I'm gonna mute. Alright, so basically what I did here is I just put in the comments for our errors, in case there is any. So our con accept, if there is an error, we want to send it back to the computer, saying that there isn't a website. And now our con denied, we want to send a, wait a minute, we want to send this back to the computer. Whoopsie, my mistake. Yeah, so we want to send it back to the computer because we're trying to send it to the destination, but the destination fails, then yeah. Then we're going to send message parse. That should work. Now connection denied, did we, yeah, con denied, con accept. So let's put in a con denied into here. And I'm going to copy this and set this to variable. Set this variable. And now we do want to get something by ID status, and we want to set it to wait. Okay, no, we don't want to do that. So computers accept computers. This is a huge amount of code right here, so I'm just gonna quickly stick that into a function. What do I want to call it though? That's the question. Well, let's look at what it does. So it needs a message input. export function make table. Make computer table, and we want the message variable. Yeah, we'll just say message variable.
You talking to?
Then we want to. Yeah, so we're gonna do that, and let's format all this correctly. There, perfect. So make the computer table, and this will, yeah, there's no error here anymore. I fixed this. So this puts in everything here. So now let's take a look at this. Computers equals message.info, message.function. Alright. Perfect. So that's good. Make computer table. And now that makes this file a lot smaller and more readable. Oh yeah, that's right. That's when I was doing it for one, so I don't, yeah, I don't need this anymore technically, but I'm just gonna leave it. Set the computer table up. Now, I don't need complicated explanation for this. I don't think I'm actually going into this. Yeah. Connection request. Oh my gosh, request from connection request from web to computer turtle was accepted. Connection request from web to computer turtle was denied. Oh, I don't like that. Let's see if that makes it even. No. Of course I spelled connection wrong. Just reformatting this stuff, and now I can add in the other stuff here. And I can add in, whoop, wrong item, this here. Perfect. Alright, so that gets me my case denied, but I need to set the status to, I'm actually getting the status. I can do make computer table message. Now there is one thing that I do want to do though. Okay. I do want to do. Okay, let's just separate our actual functions from everything else. Select function. If I look on page.html, let's say in the head we want to do another script. I think it's set interval. Wrong language. X seconds. Yes, this one. Yes, set interval. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a set interval, and what we're going to do is we're going to have it call. Actually, no, we're going to put just how it's supposed to be. Here, we're going to have it. Say every 3 seconds. And we want to do, ooh, whoa, too much. Make computer table. Now, that actually won't work. So what we would have to do, yeah, I'll just do it in here. So we'll just call function update date table. Update table. Then we can do the stuff in there. So we'll just call update table. Update table. I can add this to one script. Perfect. Website update table. What we're going to do is we're going to get a make table which takes in a message, and that message is going to be from our send. What is it? If I send a computer's request. No, don't need that second E. Send a computer's request. No, destination server. That makes sense. Dest server. That way, this is basically the destination part. I can say that it's, what is it? The destination part, what I can do is just like what I did in here. If send ID equals sender ID, or like our expected stuff. So I could say like if destination does not equal my name, then what I can do is I can just reject it. So kind of like networking, where if you receive a packet that you do not need to have it. Basically, you don't. If I send out a ping, basically, if I say hello to, let's say, John, I want John to reply only and not, like, let's say, Alexander. That's what that does. Now I just need to pop out for a second, do something, so I'll be right back. Alright. Alright, yeah, so we're to send a computer's request, and that's basically all we have to do, because I'm gonna send it back a computer's accept. And that computer's accept is gonna trigger a make computer table, so I don't have to call make computer table again. So that takes care of table updating every 3 seconds. perfect. Table updates every 3 seconds. That is just what I want to see. Oh yeah, before close, we run wss.close, and what that is, if I come over to server, our wss on close is not defined. Do I have it defined in here? No, not new server. I want, yeah, server.js. ws.onClose. Okay. Yeah. I'm good. Okay. So, yeah, so the onClose function, what happens is it deletes the connection, or it sets a delme is equal to a connection info, so one of these, and if I get it, then I set delme to my website, and if I get a computer, then I set it to here. These should never overlap. The reason for that is this is a what is it? Okay, so this is a WebSocket connection. This is also a WebSocket connection. It says any, but it's actually the WS, which is a socket parameter. That's fine. So it sets it to that, and what basically happens, actually I just want to check. What do I set WS to? WS, I just set it to a socket. So I just add ID to it. Okay, that's fine. So I come down here and I add either the website or the computer to it, because a computer is a string and a website is a number. And what will happen is I'll go into here if delme.id is inside of the website IDs. So if it's a website, delete the website ID only and delete this. Then I want to do the same thing for the computer. But what if this guy is connected to a computer? I have to find out what computer he's connected to. So connected info would be in here. Connected info in use connected to. So if we say that connected to is set, which right now I don't have it, what we should do before we delete it is we want to go into here and we want to say, so if delme dot connected to does not equal, what do we have it to? String connected into type of connection info. What is it? Data expected connection info only refers to a type, but it's being used as a value here. How did I do this beforehand? Because I did do it beforehand. What if I just say if is not a thing? Okay. Does not equal. Get connection log does not equal does not equal. Okay, I don't do it here. But basically, I want to say if connected info is equals. Okay. I want to have this. We'll just say if it is something, what we want to do is we want to come in here and we want to go variable con is equal to our delme dot connected to. So now we basically have connection or con, which is connected info. Yeah, so now what we want to do is we want to come in here and we want to go con dot in use is equal to false. And then we, okay, what is con giving me an issue about? Type string, okay. This as connection in use equals false. Then what we also want to do is we want to do a send. We want to send a type of disconnect. Our destination is our connection dot ID, and yeah, you know what, we'll just set the message to disconnect as well. Just to make it, oh, I didn't do it, okay. Disconnect. So this is going to do that. It's going to send a disconnect message, and let's say if anyone receives a disconnect message, it's just going to set it's connected to nothing and everything. So I might actually be able to put this outside of these two. Let's actually do that. If del me dot connected to no. Haha, I can set it to a null. That's perfect. So basically, because I can set it to a null, this allows me to be able to come down here and say that if delme.connection2 does not equal no, then we can run our code here. So, like this doesn't need a certain thing, it's just going to use the destination of the connection ID. And the sender, that might be a problem. Sender's args as source. Well, yeah, I have to make it so source is equal to server actually no, it's not going to be server because the server's not sending a disconnect because that doesn't make sense. Delme.id. Yes, exactly. Perfecto. Okay. All the information stuff filled out in here. Type disconnect. I can get rid of this guy. Yeah, so this is the website ID is a number and the computer IDs are strings. Then we just want to say connection closed to this guy. Now we have to deal with a disconnect. So when I call send, it just sends it out, right? Yes. I need to define the WS. WS delme dot no, it's the con yeah, it's the connections web stream that we want to send it to, and our web socket. I'm gonna get rid of the message here. It just makes the code look cleaner because we don't really need it. So here we go. Website. If we receive a disconnect, someone, no, whoever we are connected to has you know what, disconnected from the network. At least it is 2 spaces away. Oh, okay. Case disconnected, except when you add another space. Case disconnected. Right, that's what we set it to, disconnect. Disconnect. Alright, now what we want to do is we want to go connection details dot computer name equals nothing again. What we also want to do is we want to set our thing yeah. Message is message format, connection info. I don't use connection info here. Huh. Okay. I have to add another rule of protection to this because if we aren't actually connected to something, we can't really send commands anywhere. And if we send connection, we send the destination of connection details a computer name, so we depend on the computer name. So if I set computer name to null, alright, let's just say, and I come up here and I say computer name can be a string, a number, or null, then I can say computer name is equal to null. So it just basically doesn't exist. So then I can say computer name is set. And I can say computer name is dset. So what this allows me to do is I can come over here and I can say if I have to copy all this. If computer name, the computer name does not equal null, and we'll just tell it to compare real hard. Then what we can do is we can say that's good enough. So give me a minute and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Alright. Yeah, so if the computer name is null, then yeah. If I do this though, perfect. Those all have those. Okay. You know what I might do though? Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Here we go. No. Perfect. Now they're all formatted out very long, but at least I can read it and understand what is being sent in this type of format. Okay, so now we need to deal with more disconnect stuff. So we need to come over here and we need to say that else if our object type is equal to a disconnect, then what we want to do is we want to say, actually, yeah, what we want to do is we want to say connection dot in use equals false, connection dot connected to is equal to nil, right? Connected to is nil. Perfecto. And one thing I am going to add is if if object dot destination is equal to oh my gosh, connection dot id, Okay, connection.id. No. Okay. Equals computer name. Where's computer name set? Oh, of course, right there. If object destination equals computer name, then we want to do this. We want to say, oops, else, and else print. We want to say got a package that was not for me. Text utils dot, what did I use? Serialize object. Okay, that is perfect. So this make sure the package is for me, and then we go through object, so command, connection request, disconnect. Now server should handle disconnect just fine. Perfect. Now I just have to figure out how to add the connection info, or the connected to thing. Here. Now connection is, what does it get me? Connection gets me the WS, or yes, it gets me the WS. Okay. So what I need to do is do I have to loop through it again? Or do I have a function for this? Make computer table get and use computers. Yes, I do not have a function for it. Okay. Con accept. What I want to do is I want to come up here and I want to say computers, computer IDs dot for each function each computer what is computer computer IDs is connection info. So now what I can do is I can do if computer dot ID is equal to message parse dot dest. Wait. No, source. Yeah, the source. Computer dot connected to equals so this right here, the dot connected to, it has to be a connection info, which means I should set it to a website IDs actually let me just do this. What is this? For each website, which is going to be a connection info, we want to see if website dot ID is equal to message parse dot destination. If it is, we're going to return website. Yes. Otherwise, we're going to return no. Pretty sure I said that it could be connection info or null. So why is this freaking out? Because I'm returning a connection info. There we go. Now what? You know what? I'm just going to do this. Function boom function e Now what? We're just going to do this. Alright, sorry. I wasn't talking for a bit. I was too focused. So basically what happened here is I couldn't assign the function, so what I'm doing is I'm assigning computer dot connected to is going to be equal to the web, and that would work. And then like, we don't need to change it if it doesn't exist. It should exist, hopefully. Yes, basically what I'm doing is first we get the connection. Obvious. After we get the connection, we're going to go through our computer IDs, and for each computer, we're going to find this computer. Next, we're going to find the website that it's sending the connection accept to, and then we're going to grab that. Then we're going to set computer.connected to is equal to web. Now, if web does not equal null, what we're going to do is we're going to send message parse, but we're going to send message parse.ws is equal to the connection as a socket connection. So this, yeah, it allows me to send it afterwards, and then we can come here, we can say else. We're not going to send the message to the destination. We're going to send the message to, since we're actually in here, we can just say message.parse equals computer.ws. So we're just going to send it back to itself, but we're going to change the message parse dot type to disconnect. Because if we can't find it, right, that means that it has disconnected from the network. Just like the on close that we have down here. It's going to send a disconnect. So why don't I just copy that? That way I make sure I send the same thing. Because that's not the same thing. There. We're going to send a disconnect message to it. You know what I can do? Yeah, I can do this. We're just going to say source is the server. The destination is message parse.id. So we're going to send it right back to them. And why isn't that working? Message parse. Oh, that's why. Message parse source, and we're going to send the type of disconnect. And we'll just space this out. So now I also need to add ws, which is going to be computer.ws. So that'll send right back out to the computer. Yes. So if web does exist, we're going to run this code. If web, however, does not exist, we're going to run this code, which gives us a very good route, I guess. Because this is a for loop. Basically, this is a for each loop, so it's going to go through each thing here. It's going to look, see if the computer ID is equal to the source of the message. Then it's going to say the website can be a connection info or a null, and I'm just going to automatically assign it to a null. Then we're going to go website IDs. We're going to go through each website. We're going to say if the website ID is equal to the message destination, then the web is going to be equal to website. And then we can actually just break if that's possible. Okay, yeah, no. We're just going to let it run through, which isn't a good idea, but it will just check this once. And I actually need it to be the same type. Same with this. At least it should be the same type. If it's not the same type, then we are going to have some problems. I think that's, yeah, disconnect, that's fine. So disconnect is dealt with. Disconnect is dealt with. Okay. So next time, or actually I might work on this afterwards. I'm gonna work on errors and how those will eventually function. Yes, I'm gonna work on error stuff, I think. Yeah. So, yeah, this should never happen here. This has a very low chance of happening. Okay, and then I'm gonna have to deal with his else. Yeah, basically the else's. Actually, I can do that now, can I? Yeah, because we're just saying that it's not connected anywhere, right? So, all that is sending a disconnect. Yeah. So I can use this format again. Yeah, so I can just take... Yeah, well, yeah, I'm gonna have to take this entire thing. I'm probably gonna make a function for this. It takes the entire function, it searches for this stuff. Does the same thing, but we don't want to send anything out. Even if it is a web, we just want to get the computer's WebSocket, and then that's when we want to send it. What's wrong? I think I have one more, the necessary. Yeah, because I had an else statement there. Okay. Yeah. So, based on what it is, I just have to switch computer IDs to like websites. So send an error response to the computer. So to the computer. Why is this? Oh. Perfect. Now where's the last one? Send an error response to the website. Basically, if you can't connect, right, then that means that it's just gone. So we can easily change everything to just a website. So we can technically leave the computer as is, but like if I'm taking a look at this later, I won't understand why I'm accessing website IDs and using a computer for the thing here. To the computer, saying that it's not connected anymore. Oh, dang it. To the computer. I'm definitely going to have to make a function for this. But, so far, I think that is it. This I really don't like, but we're going to keep it. On close, this thing is done. Figure out how to tell what connection is connected to what, then disconnect, send disconnect and that connection. We just did that. So we can get rid of that. Now, I'm going to make that function now. Send a disconnect to computer. And message parse, which is of message format. Send a disconnect to website. Perfecto. Disconnect from computers. So now, if I'm on server, I need to import that. I wonder, am I able to put this on other lines? Yes, I am. This will make it a lot easier to find out what I'm importing. Get connection, we want to disconnect computer. What is... That's why it's red. Okay. And right away, all of this is gone. See, that looks a lot better already. It gets rid of like 11 lines. Now, what errors does it have? Oh. Well, that's a mistake on my part. There we go. Now, theoretically, the server, I don't know why I keep going to the website, the server side is technically done, but what I do want to add here is, not there. I want to add a warning. Warning message, which says, a broadcast was sent. Message is equal to message parse. Perfect. All right. Yeah. I think this is enough. Broadcast was sent, message. Yeah, I also did something like that here. And put those there. Now I can't send a disconnect for this because this is the server. So Now here, this sends a connection request to a turtle. So, what do I do when I get a disconnect? The computer name. Okay, we're also going to say that if connection details dot con request. Oh my gosh, really? Don't know how I managed this. I managed to forget an A. Connection request. I'm going to set that to null as well. It'll make my life easier. I don't know why I made it so long either, because sure, I'm describing what it is, but holy jeepers, it's long. Perfect. Setting that to null, setting those to null. That one I will always set to null. I don't really care if it's set or not. What else? So that means that here I can send a website, a disconnect website, IDs, message parse. This one I don't need to send a disconnect, because I really doubt I will ever see this, but I might see that. Now, okay, I think that is everything, because this looks pretty good, and it's okay, so next is 3.js. That is something I'm going to have to research, so I'm going to end the stream, and I'm going to research that here on my spare time. Yeah, so I will see you guys next time, I guess. Bye.